What is up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Surfing the Stream, where every week we are on a quest to find out what is the greatest movie of all time. I am Matt Primo, joined by Josh Primo.
What's up, bitches?
Well, we've been doing pretty good with recording 3 straight weeks in a row. Yeah, need to go get ourselves some lottery tickets.
Get off these nuts, bitches.
This week, as we said last week, we are reviewing the movie Hostels. That's the one with Christian Bale. You can find that on Stars, or if you have Stars through Amazon, you can get it through that way. I don't know how much it costs right now to buy it digitally, but that is a movie that we were reviewing this week. But before we jump into that review, a couple of things we got to get out the way. One, September 1st, we are going to start giving away some exclusive merch, digital codes for movies. I know one of them is going to be the collector's edition of the Tears of the Kingdom strategy guide. So if you go to our Facebook, any of our social media accounts, and you share our content, tag me in it, or share it directly from our page, make sure you include like the original post and shit like that when you do that. That way I can keep track of it and whatnot. But if you do all that, you can also sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/2game. That is the number 2. Support us at any of those tiers, get you access to our Discord, and then it also gets you in the running for a lot of the giveaways that we're going to have. And we'll also be giving away merch at some point as well. So the link down below, that'll take you to our Patreon, and then the other link will take you to our Bonfire account, which is where our merch is. If you want to come support us, either way, it's supporting us, and we appreciate it nonetheless. Next week, so Josh and I are flip-flopping movie schedules here. He's gonna pick one week, I pick the next. I tried something a little bit different this week. I didn't give him movies. I gave him genres, and I don't know how he feels about it, but he picked.
Well, I'd have felt a lot better if you wouldn't have fucking lied about the genre, you dick.
What you mean? Which one did I lie about?
That motherfucker. That would be a drama sci-fi, not fucking drama suspense.
Have you seen it?
I've read the fucking caption.
Nah,
Motherfucker talking about vampires and shit, and
vampires. There's no fucking vampires in that movie.
I'm pretty sure it was. It was something, motherfucker. I remember being like, this motherfucker slipped a sci-fi in on me.
You may have looked at the wrong movie, dog. So next week we are reviewing the Christopher Nolan movie, The Prestige. It is I haven't seen it in quite a long time, but it used to be one of my favorite movies. It is essentially it's about 2 magicians competing against each other. That's what it is. It's not like magic where like fucking like fantasy and shit like that. It's magic like I pull something out of my ear, that kind of magic.
Yeah, because that's not sci-fi at all. Yeah, what was I thinking?
Well, I am not disappointed by your choice, so you can go fuck yourself.
It was probably the same fucking movie, just 4 different ways you fucking. Would you like a comedy?
I honestly thought you were gonna go for the action comedy one.
Well, I figured I was going to, but I figured you'd fucking Jake Gyllenhaal me down my fucking throat. That's why I didn't.
What fucking action comedy is there with him in it?
Oh fuck, I don't know, but you look sure ride his dick enough. You could probably tell me.
No, that one was Rush Hour. Do you like those movies?
With Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker.
Yeah,
Chris Tucker's too loud. It gets on my nerves.
Fuck it, man. That fucking first one was fucking great.
I mean, it wasn't a bad movie. I just sometimes, I don't know. I still find Chris Tucker. I typecasted him to Smokey.
Yeah, he's kind of a. I don't know. He was in a movie recently that I really. He was in the movie Air, which I mean, you might be interested in that. It doesn't have any sports in it. It's about Michael Jordan getting his big shoe deal. and it's a
Yeah,
drama.
that sounds exciting.
It's actually a pretty good movie. Chris Tucker's in that movie, though. But anyways, we're not here to talk about any of that, guys. But go ahead and watch The Prestige, Christopher Nolan, and we're going to be reviewing that next week, courtesy of Josh picking this. So technically, I didn't pick it. So just saying.
I fucking hate you.
Anyways, let's jump into Hostiles. In 1892, a legendary army captain reluctantly agrees to escort a Cheyenne chief and his family through dangerous territory. This movie is directed by Scott Cooper, who directed The Pale Blue Eye, Antlers, Black Mass, Out of the Furnace, and Crazy Heart. This movie had a budget of $39 million, which is kind of insane when you think about it, considering how much all they do is just ride on horses in this movie. But I digress. $35.6 million gross. I'm assuming a lot of that was for the fucking actors, because they got some big names in this movie. This movie stars Christian Bale, Rosamund Pike, and Wes Studi. Runtime of 2 hours and 14 minutes, and it was released January 26, 2018. Just a few fun facts for y'all. This movie was shot in chronological order and also shot on location in New Mexico and Arizona during the rainy season, and production had to be shut down for a time due to lightning storms. The film cast includes one Oscar winner, being Christian Bale, and 3 nominees, Rosamund Pike, Jesse Plemons, and Timothy Chalamet, or however you want to fucking say his name. I don't know. The guy that was in this movie for like all of like 10 seconds. So, Josh, what did you expect going into this movie?
Man, I expected a good classic type Western with some good shootout scenes, a little bit of drama. I mean, it rated high, so I expected quite a bit from this film going into it, and the trailer was really good.
Honestly, I didn't even watch the trailer.
You missed the best part. I digress.
So I'm assuming you didn't like the movie.
Well, I mean, what you didn't have high expectations on this?
I did. I wouldn't say I had high expectations. Look, I'm a huge Christian Bale fan. He's one of my favorite actors, and his movies are usually pretty good, at least. And if anything, he is a guy that changes from movie to movie. He's not like, oh, that's just The Rock playing in a different movie. No, this is Christian Bale playing different characters in different movies, and he's actually usually does a very good job. So I expected like decent writing, a decent story, but mainly just great acting. After I saw the cast, I was like, Jesus Christ, man, how did this movie not get like better scores and all that? And then you kind of watch the movie and you kind of find out.
Well, that's what throws me off, is it ranks high on IMDb.
There's a bunch of 3 stars, 3.5, and 4 stars on Letterboxd.
Did we not watch the same movie?
So I kind of want to go first this time. Okay. Because I feel like I'm going to have to talk you off a ledge here. But also, I'm not going to die on this hill either. I will say this. In this movie, somewhere in the time that they went to write it, produce it, all that, I think that there is a 5-star movie somewhere in this mess. Okay, there is a 5-star movie somewhere in this. There are huge problems with character development and character connections. There's one particular scene where Jonathan Majors' character is injured pretty badly, and him and Christian Bale have a talk in the infirmary, and they talk like they're best friends, but you would never have known that up to that point until they told you that oh man, I love serving under you and yada yada yada, right? You never would have known that. And I think that is one of the biggest issues with the movie is you don't have those character connections, those interactions to find out who these individual characters are. Timothy Chalamet's character dies within fucking 5 seconds of going on this mission. So let's just say he was not the right guy to choose. Like,
well,
but I mean, they were all like, "Oh, damn, Frenchie, he died," and I'm like, "Y'all knew him for like 10 seconds, man. Like, what the fuck? Whatever." So that to me is the biggest issue with the entire movie. The other big issue, and this is probably the most egregious out of the two, the pacing is pretty awful. If you're going this route, if you're going the route of the movie that you presented to us, not doing better character connections or character development, you got to trim off at least 20 minutes of this movie. There is just so, a couple weeks ago when we reviewed 300, I said this movie would have been 30 minutes shorter if you just cut out all the fucking slow motion. Mm-hmm. This movie could be 20 minutes shorter if you cut out all the goddamn walking that they did. Like, I fucking get it. Like, sometimes you just need that kind of scenery and whatnot, the transition from scene to scene. I fucking get it. But if you're going to do that,
y'all walk too damn much.
If you're going to do that, at least have that character development and those character connections while you're fucking walking. Give me something to chew on while you're fucking walking. There are so many scenes of them just casually walking on fucking horseback. I'm like, goddamn, man, I get it. They're going across the goddamn state, but fuck.
This guy says, I got to walk there faster myself.
Right. But those are the two biggest issues with the entire movie. And I think if they would have fixed those, there is a 5-star movie here. Personally. But sadly, there's not. So I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on it, sir.
Yeah, there's not a 5-star movie anywhere remotely close to this motherfucker. It's so far away from 5 fucking stars it can't even see the fucking line to start at. The cinematography sucked. Character development sucked. The fucking what do you call that? Whenever two people mingle when they're acting. I can't think of the
word. Sex?
No.
Oh, my bad.
Chemistry. They had no fucking chemistry between any of the actors. It was so fucking long, so paced. It was shit. And then you finally get a payoff of a shootout scene, and it's so motherfucking dark you can't even see it. And it's like just motherfuckers pointing guns and then motherfucker fall off the horse.
It reminds me when I'm shooting. It reminds me of when I was shooting imaginary things out in the front yard when I was a kid.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I could not watch this movie without subtitles. I usually watch them with subtitles, but I had to have them in this one because they fucking mumbled. They were mumbly and the lighting sucked, so I could hardly ever see it. And like you said, it was so disjointed. They have all these military guys that you're supposed to give a shit about that were killed. No, you didn't know anything about the black guy until the hospital room. You really don't get a whole lot of development on Christopher Bale's character. And I'm going to die on the hill and say his mustache was fake.
Oh, what fucking gave that away?
I mean,
the dude looked like Dr. Eggman the dude looked like Dr. Eggman from Sonic.
It looked like fucking Peter Griffin when he taped fucking Brian across his face for his mustache. That's what it looked like. Why did they mumble?
To be fair, typically that's a Christopher Nolan movie. Christopher Nolan has the worst audio design and audio mix in the business right now, considering how great of a director he is. But I will agree with that. I think there's a lot of scenes in here that are super fucking dark. So if you're watching this out in broad daylight, it's fucking difficult. And then the audio mix, it's a little rough. I will give you that.
And
It wasn't I always watch it with subtitles, so it actually didn't even, I didn't even notice it until you told me about it. But yeah, you're right.
But it's like they build up at the beginning that Rosamund Pike's character is going to be further than that. Her children got murdered, and she spends half the movie fucking crying and not saying shit and lashing out and what. And I mean, we spent 45 minutes watching her bury her family. Give me a shovel, I'm gonna do it. Well, on second thought, this ground is kind of hard. Do y'all mind digging those graves for me?
Well, I hurt my back. Well, I mean, y'all can do it.
There was just no payoff for any of the characters, I don't feel like. And then we're supposed to care about her and the boy in the ending. Nah, I mean, we didn't even know who the boy was about.
Absolutely. I think you are 100% correct in that. I think that scene could have been more effective if we got to know the Native Americans in this movie. And we don't. It's so funny to me. They focus on two characters in this entire movie: Rosamund Pike's character and Christian Bale's character. Those are the two ones that they focus the most. Christian Bale, I can understand, he's the lead. If you look at the poster, there's 3 fucking names on that poster. Wes Studi, who is the Yellow Hawk, we get very little of him, and he's one of the 3 top billed actors in the movie. So to me, why are we not exploring his life at all? Rosamund Pike's character was interesting for like the first, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes. I'll be a little courteous here and say 45 minutes.
I need to interject one thing.
Go ahead.
We obviously know her character does not know how to listen.
Why's that?
Oh man, the fucking horse thieves are coming. You know the plan. Do the plan, run. Does the bitch run? Fuck no. She walks out the door and fucking looks at him and she's like, oh honey, they got guns. And he's like, fucking run. And she's like, no, I think you need to go too. And then she runs. That's all.
Wait, time out. Can we just talk about how fucking great of a shot those fucking Native Americans were? Dude, I'm telling you, they're like on the other side of the fucking hill. Pow 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 pow, and they're like, oh, 3 kids are dead. I'm like, goddamn, dude.
But you know what kills me about that? They was able to shoot the kids from that far of a distance, but they had to stick an arrow on old dude because they missed him and only shot him in the leg. What the?
And he was closer. What? Okay. As funny as all that is, I'm making light of it, but I'm going to be completely honest. I think if the way they started the movie, okay, that scene, and then you get Christian Bale's character being introduced and the whole story, the whole plot comes into effect. I think that was what, 30, 40 minutes ish? That whole sequence, both of those sequences together. I think those are very strong scenes. Honestly, I think the movie started off very, very strong. And then they had nothing but walking for about a fucking hour and a half. So to me, they got me invested in the movie within those first 30 or 40 minutes. I thought the pacing was really, really good. And then at times I'm like, oh, fuck, this is some good stuff here, but it's surrounded by fucking bullshit that I'm just like, how did y'all, like, the pieces are there, the ingredients are there, but you're fucking with it. You're fucking it up.
And let me talk about the Indians real quick. So Rosamund Pike hides under the rock. That Indian couldn't find her. But said Indian in the other group, after the girls got kidnapped, reached down and touched the river and was like, "These horses had iron shoes." Like, bruh can pick out a damn horse from her fucking step, but dude couldn't like smell her or track her better than that in the beginning.
Different groups.
Oh, so one has navigational beacons and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
It was just
No,
I mean, it may be wrote that way.
Those were the Comanches, the ones at the very beginning. And yeah, different group. The one that they were actually leading to Montana, that group was the one that said these guys have iron shoes on. So completely different.
Yeah. Group. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
I gotcha. See, that's what I'm saying. There's 5-star. Like the stuff is there, man, for it to be 5 stars. Like, you could have made a really fucking good movie if you'd have focused on the relationships between all those core characters. And would it have been dialogue heavy? Probably so. I mean, this probably still wouldn't have been a movie that you would have enjoyed, but I think it would have been a hell of a lot better than what we got out of this. But there is one thing that I do want to point out in this movie. Now, I want to know if you caught it. So the movie is called Hostiles, right?
Yeah.
Do you know who the hostiles are?
No.
They all are. If you look at it from a thematic standpoint, this was the most interesting aspect of the entire movie, and it was kind of quote unquote rewarding if you kind of caught on to that pretty early. So the whole movie is Hostiles. If you looked at it from a superficial standpoint, you would think, and maybe a racist standpoint, I don't know, you would think with Christian Bale being on the front that the movie was going to be about Native Americans. You were thinking that it was going to be the Native Americans were the hostiles, right? That's the way it was kind of going to go. But honestly, there's a conversation between Yellowhawk and Christian Bale's character towards the end of the movie. He rambles off a bunch of people that Yellowhawk killed, right? And yeah. Yellowhawk says, "Yeah, and you killed a lot of my people too."
Yeah.
So I think it's interesting how they combined a bunch of these scenes together to kind of hit home that thematic view of, okay, there one group isn't necessarily the hostiles, they're all the hostiles. Okay, it just depends on which side you're on and what your perspective is. And I thought that was really interesting that they kind of took it that way. The only bad thing is, and I didn't know this beforehand, Scout's honor, it's on the fucking poster. So
no shit.
Yeah, so they gave that shit away, like, fucking, if you just looked at the poster. But I thought it was interesting that they built off that. And there's not, quote unquote, one villain in this movie. Now, I do want to kind of branch off that in just a second, but there's no, quote unquote, villain. Instead, everybody's kind of responsible for the carnage and the death that's around them. And they've each killed each other, killed each other's people on both sides. And it's just this fucking vicious cycle that keeps happening. And I feel like that moment was huge between those two characters, because it's like almost kind of like they're breaking that cycle between them two. The only downside is you don't get any fucking connection between Christian Bale and Yellowhawk up until that fucking moment. So it fucking lands flat.
Yeah, now that you like describe it like that, I'm like, well, that would be an interesting connection, but it just misses the mark so much, man. And it's like, there's not always action or something going on. Maybe, the movie's kind of building up to a point, but even their build-ups to like the fight scenes or just anything, it fell flat. They were horribly done. You just, like, whenever I think it was Captain Royce was the one that was locked up. Yeah, Captain Royce was tied to that tree.
Captain
And
Wills? Is that his name?
oh, maybe. Oh, that's not the guy. They all look the same.
That's Ben
It was the
Foster's
guy that
character.
played. Yeah, see, I don't even show him on my thing. Sons of bitches.
Yeah, Wills was his name, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, wow.
Which I'm glad
Yeah,
you brought him up.
in that movie, but yet it's done so poorly. It's shot from the wrong angle. I think the choreography stuff was all off. And fuck you.
Choreography.
And then I let you go with that damn one you messed up earlier. Is you like mate or whatever.
This guy doesn't even fucking know.
But it's been a long week. But you know what I mean. It was, and it surprised me because that character that you mentioned his name earlier. I've seen him in a couple of other movies, and he's always been a really good actor. And I don't think we really got his best work in this movie. The one tied to the tree.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought him up because that was the guy that when I said my villain point, I wanted to talk about something in relation to that. I wanted to talk about his character. When his character got introduced, was it just me? But I felt like we were introducing the main antagonist of the movie. Like he was going to be the villain. The way they set up some of those scenes, how there was a stark contrast between Christian Bale's character and Ben Foster's character, Wills. If you look at it, if in the theme of the entire movie, where Christian Bale is trying to basically, he's this guy that he hates the Native Americans and yada yada yada, right? Well, his redemption arc comes through this villain, this guy Wills, who says repeatedly, like, "Who are you? Like, you've changed. Like, this is not the guy I knew way back then. Like, you were fucking killing women and children. Like, he was like, he thinks he's like on some high horse now, you know? So if you look at it from this standpoint, Wills is what Christian Bale's character used to be in terms of his character arc. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I didn't even think of it like that, but yeah.
So when they introduce him, I'm thinking, oh shit, man, like Wills is fucking pissed off about the Native Americans and shit like that. And that's going to be the main climax of the movie is he's going to have to battle Wills and protect the Native Americans from getting killed from this guy. And then fucking 5 minutes later, they kill the most interesting fucking villain in the movie.
But I felt like it was kind of a robbed because you knew something was going to happen with this guy because he got introduced way too late. I don't know. I just
they should have
I liked
introduced
his
him.
character. I just don't like how they did his character.
No, absolutely.
I guess.
That's the point I am trying. We're in agreement there. Like they should have introduced him a little bit sooner. And Ben Foster, we've reviewed like one movie before we've reviewed like 2 movies with him in it. We reviewed the fucking military movie, Lone Survivor, and then it was one of the Mark Wahlberg movies that he was in. When he plays like unhinged characters, I think he's at his best. Because I think one of my favorite performances of him is in 30 Days of Night when he plays one of the vampires. He's just super fucking creepy in that movie. But he kind of goes in that same kind of realm in this movie, and I just fucking wanted more of it. And they just, no, we're just gonna kill him off. Like anytime something interesting, anytime anything interesting happened in the movie, they cut it or they ended it. And it's like, bro, what the fuck? Like the Comanches at the very beginning of the movie. Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to be around the entire movie. No, halfway through the movie, they're gone.
Like, I felt fucking robbed on that scene. like it was so anticlimactic. It was unbelievable.
No, I absolutely 100% agree with you on that. It was like
I just
I think you mentioned it earlier. Anytime they gained momentum on something, they did something fucking stupid and lost all the momentum, and then went back to walking.
they did a lot of fucking walking scenes, man. That's funny because that's the first thing I was thinking of. I was like, wow, this movie would have been over 30 minutes ago if I ended up watching them motherfuckers walk in the sunset.
Right.
I,
And that,
I and another character to say that they did that to was his buddy from the very beginning that went after Billy, and they found him that he killed himself.
yeah, Tommy, I think it was his
That
name.
that was so anticlimactic. There, you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Why they kill him off screen? That was
Yeah,
stupid.
why didn't they show the interaction between those two when he runs off into the night to catch him?
And honestly, what I think should have happened is he should never went after that guy. Because the scene right before that, he's talking in a way that's like, oh, dude, this dude's going to go fucking kill himself. Like he implies what he's going to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So to me, I think it would have been more powerful. I'm not saying you guys show him shoot himself in the head or some shit like that, but at least show that scene and let us live through that, because I think that performance would have been better for it instead of just, oh yeah, he died at some point in the night. Just so you know. like I feel robbed, and
Footnote.
that right, and that's like I said, that's one of the issues with the movie is anytime they feel momentum on a character, they just squander it, and
I just said squander. You scallywag.
We're robbed of so many great character moments, interactions, and development and arc completions with just terrible mistakes and bad decisions in the movie. And I'm gonna be honest, I was gonna give this movie a decent score, and you pushed me off the ledge, man. I'm not. I'm going down a motherfucking score.
Is I fucking love westerns, and this one just fuck me, man. I had so much hope for it after I watched that trailer, and I was gonna shove it in your face that finally a movie that didn't really get much publicity was good, but nah, not happening.
Fuck, we should just watch Tombstone again.
Fucking A. I think I'd have watched Wonder before I would watch this one again.
Oh, let's not get fuzzed.
At least I ain't gotta watch him. At least I ain't gotta watch a motherfucker walk for 30 minutes.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a hot take though, but you're not wrong with the walking. I think honestly we should review 310 to Yuma. And honestly, I'm okay with watching westerns. I really do like westerns if they're done right.
Yeah.
310 to Yuma was a pretty good movie back in the day. I haven't seen it in a long time though.
What's that guy? What's his name? The main actor in that.
Which one?
The one I can't think of his name.
No, which fucking movie?
310 to Yuma.
Oh, Christian Bale.
No, the other main guy. The other main guy.
Russell Crowe.
The other main.
Russell Crowe.
Yeah, he's one of those actors where I only like him depending on the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I can give or take on some of his stuff. Some of it I'm like, man, he did fucking good in that one. And then the other ones I'm like,
could have been better.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
You're having some audio issues there, so I guess we're going to wrap this up.
Yeah, the weather's getting bad over here.
This dude's in Montana.
I'm in Ohio. Like fucking thundering and shit. I'm like, what the? Oh, hold me.
I'm so scared. All right. I was bouncing back and forth between a 3 and a 3.5 before we reviewed this movie, and you kind of showed me the error of my ways. I'm going 2.5. Look, I think there are some really good moments in this movie. It's just surrounded by a bunch of bullshit. And by bullshit, I mean a lot of goddamn walking. Like, guys, I know I've mentioned that like 7 times in this review. I've mentioned it almost as much as they walk in this fucking movie. So I'm just saying, I don't want y'all to not understand where I'm getting from. Like, they do a shit ton of walking in this movie, and I'm not exaggerating by that. So I'm going 2.5. I think if you have no time whatsoever or you have a bunch of time and you just want to watch a Western with some decent moments in it, then by all means go watch it. But I was fine watching it once. I'll never watch it twice. But there's better Westerns out there for you to go watch. So that's what I would recommend. Go watch something else.
I give it a 1. I find no redeeming qualities in it. I think it's a complete letdown from start to finish.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, guys, that's going to be it for us. Like I said, next week we are watching The Prestige. I believe it. I don't know if it's on Netflix or not, but it's on my Vudu, if I'm not mistaken. So you can watch it there. Well, Josh can. Nobody else can. Josh can. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it from us. Again, if you want to consider supporting us, go to patreon.com/2game. That is the number 2. And that would greatly benefit us. So we would appreciate your support there. And then also links down below for merch and the Patreon. So we appreciate y'all supporting us. Like, subscribe, do all that bullshit. And we will catch y'all next week on another episode. Laters.
You scoundrels get some merch.
I'm gonna finger bang you. That's a pre-show segment right there.